Hello, Potato, and welcome to Weekend Magic for April the 23rd, 2022. It's going to be kind of a throwback this weekend, back to the very beginning of Weekend Magic, back when I still called it Magic in the Mail, and it wasn't necessarily on the weekend, and it was because the Disney stores were closed, not closed like they are now, where they're just closed forever, but closed because of the pandemic. And it was way back in the year 2020, like 5 billion years ago, and Disney was doing a monthly series called Minnie Mouse, the Main Attraction. And it looked a little something like this. This was actually the January one, which actually came out in January of that year, not in, months later. And it was really popular. And of course, it was a nightmare. The whole experience was a nightmare. Only the first couple were able to get picked up in stores. I think eventually the teacup one was in stores, but by that point it had been out online for months, and most people who wanted it already had it. But the January and February ones were the only ones that we were able to purchase actually in the store. And now skip ahead to only 5 billion years ago to 2021, and Disney had Stitch Crashes Disney, which, in my opinion, was, almost say it, ugly. I didn't care for them, and frankly, after the chaos that was Minnie Mouse, the Main Attraction, and not getting that fast pass in January for the first Stitch, I just said, nope, screw it, not going to do it. Which doesn't say that ShopDisney didn't get plenty of my money last year, but yeah, I jumped ship, and no regrets. The series did not get better. I'm glad I didn't spend any money on them. And of course, that series is actually, as of this recording, still not done. I think they have one more release to do on it. But they announced towards the end of last year that this year they were going to go back to the well, back to the last things that were popular, which would be Mickey Mouse Memories from 2018 and Minnie Mouse the Main Attraction from 2020. Because, don't forget, Wisdom in 2019 was not super popular either. So they announced they would be doing Mickey Mouse the Main Attraction as sort of a tie-in to the Disney World 50th anniversary thing. And last week, middle of April, they finally released for the US the January collection, the ones that, the rest of the world got back in, January. They finally released it here, and, I got up early. I was all ready, because this was day one of SAC Anime, and I was up, I was ready, I had multiple devices open, because I just remember the chaos that was Minnie Mouse. And they've redone the waiting room. They've filled almost all of my requests. Not only does it show you where you are in line, so you can see that you're actually moving through it, it's not just frozen, but they actually showed you what items were still in stock, which was great. The only thing I would add in is some sort of activity, either a chat function so you can talk to other people who are waiting, or just like a trivia show or something to keep you occupied while you're waiting through that queue. But I got through it pretty quickly. Weird, actually, it was really weird. So before 7 o'clock, I found the Mickey Mouse the Main Attraction items on the site, and I had them added to my bag, and I was going to check out when suddenly it shunted me into the waiting room. So, I waited my turn, and when it let me in finally, all my stuff was still in the bag. It was all still there. Everything was still there, even the backpacks and the ears. And so I ordered what we wanted, which is to say not the backpack. And I was very surprised when later that day I got a shipping notice. And even more surprised when a couple days ago, I had a box on my doorstep. They got it here super fast, less than a week. Sometimes they do that, but it was a painless experience. After all the problems of Minnie Mouse, the multiple charges, or multiple holds on my account anyways, the fighting to check out, this worked exactly the way a website in the year 2022 should work, which is to say, it worked. And we've got our Mickey Mouse, the Main Attraction items here. And I've already looked through the box, obviously. I'm not going to sit here and not at least take a look at them for like 3 days until Saturday comes around. Of course, we've got our special paper. Always save that because it's good for wrapping presents. And then we have our things. So I ordered everything except for the backpack. We didn't do the backpack, which has gone up and down a few times during the week. Everything has. The last I checked, the plush was still available for back order. The pin was just available, and I think the ears were available too. And the key, I've seen the key pop up and down a few times during the week. And the backpack, I think, is finally gone. But I have to say, I was a little doubtful about the series. I didn't like that the pins were only going to be just of Mickey and not of like the ride. I thought the $35 for a key seemed obnoxious, which isn't to say I didn't buy one. I just thought it was obnoxious. But looking at them when they're here, I wasn't that impressed with the ears. Some of the later ones look good, so that's part of why we got the first ones, because some of the later ones do look better. But I have to say, before going through this all, I'm actually quite impressed with the whole lot of it. I think it's all quite nice. So let's start looking through it with the smallest thing. So for that, I think we're going to go down to the ground. So our first item is going to be the pin. And yes, they've done that thing I've complained about before. They put a label in front of it. So let's take it out of the... Does it? Yeah, okay, it does. So is there a way, can I take this out without destroying the packaging? I think I can. So let me do that. And here it is, our 1 of 12 Space Mountain Mickey Mouse The Main Attraction pin. And it's very large. So, I was annoyed that there was only one pin, but it's a much larger pin than we got with Minnie Mouse The Main Attraction. It's also like pin on pin, because the visor here, his little Geordie LaForge visor, is actually a separate layer and see-through. I know you can't see it on the camera. If I turn the light on, it's just going to glare off the pin, but that's like a see-through, like a blue glass there. You can see his eyes through it. And also we have this nice star patterning on the ears, much like the Minnie Mouse plush had. And again, much like the Minnie Mouse plush, his clothing looks like the ride building. He is a double pin back. I don't remember the price, it was too much. And there's words back there, but we're not going to read them yet because they're kind of blocked by the pin back. And those words are on, I think, everything in the collection. We'll read them off something a little easier to read. But yeah, I mean, the pin is nicer than I thought it was going to be. And if the rest of the pins in the set look like this, I think I'll be happy. Hopefully they'll be just as easy to get as this one was too. Okay, so it only gets bigger from here. So let's look at the next thing, which will be the ears. We get them out of their bag. Now, I think I said in a previous video I was considering skipping these because I wasn't that impressed with them online, but honestly, in person, they are a bit nicer, and here they are. Also, I mean, I still say they're mini ears. I don't care if the bow is what makes a distinction for people. These are still mini ears. They're a headband, not a hat. Mickey ears are the hat. But it's actually very nice. I want to say maybe a little bit nicer than the Minnie Mouse Space Mountain ears were. Of course, we have the ubiquitous CVS receipt tape of a tag. But we have this nice representation of the ride building and a rocket taking off. Although I don't think that rocket looks much of anything like the cars in the ride. Maybe the Florida one that looks like there's like a mock-up of a rocket somewhere in that looks like... I haven't been on Space Mountain in a while. So maybe I just don't remember. Maybe that's one of the projections in the ride and I just don't remember. But it's got kind of like a faux leather thing going on the outside here. It's got this big, shiny Mickey Mouse Main Attraction, Walt Disney World 50th Most Magical Celebration tag. And it says Space Mountain on the side in the Space Mountain font. But yeah, I mean, it's actually like a hard plastic. It's not, well, that's more like a foam maybe. But that, I guess the whole thing is like a foam, just coated in like vinyl or something. But yeah, it's nice. It's nicer than I thought it looked online. I'm quite pleased with it. Maybe, it could have been a little cheaper, but I am quite pleased with it. And speaking of pleased with it, the next thing actually really, really surprised me. So the keys for this collection are like $35, which I thought was just obnoxious because they looked like they were going to be about the same size as that, I think it was a D23 exclusive metal princess key that I looked at like a month or so ago. So I was frankly thinking we're just kind of getting a little ripped off here. But of course I ordered it anyways because, I'm a completionist and a schmuck and I throw my money at Disney. And then it arrived and I was genuinely shocked when I opened the box and found it's like the size of a VHS cassette. This is huge. This is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. And it's really nice. I mean, I thought the design on it looked nice online, but I'm really almost tempted to take it out of the plastic. I'm not tempted to actually do it, but I'm tempted to take it out to get a good look at it, because this thing is huge. It's very heavy, but it looks like we've got a similar design to what's on the ears here. We have the building, which is three-dimensional. It's not just a flat image. We have the rocket taking off, which again is three-dimensional. I don't really know how well the camera catches that, but it's not just flat. It's like the ears, the Mickey logo here is like carved out. And it looks like the background is basically just a sticker, which is a little cheap looking. But the carving of the building and the rocket, I think, are really impressive. Then we have the Space Mountain logo on the shaft of the key. And we have the 50th anniversary castle for the teeth. And this thing it's huge, it's heavy, it's chunky. I can see why it's $35. I don't feel like I'm just being like ripped off for the price now. This is genuinely like a big thing. And I'm really impressed with it. And I can see why it was the first thing to sell out now. Now that I can see it in person, have my hands on it, I can see why this sold out. And again, I've seen it pop up a few times during the week, but I already had it, so I didn't try to order it. And I'm really hoping that it continues this way. They have like a sufficient supply, because I feel like they did advertise this enough that people who were interested would have known about it. But here's where we'll read the words on the back, because they're much easier to read here. I don't know if they'll be easy for you to read because of both the angle the camera's at, and it is kind of small on the screen, but maybe we can do something about that when I edit it. Blast light speed ahead on the Space Mountain attraction, an out-of-this-world roller coaster in the Tomorrowland area. Shooting stars whiz by and orbs of light glow on your journey through space. Opening in the Magic Kingdom Park at Walt Disney World Resort in 1975, this astronomical attraction has appealed to fans ever since. And then the same thing, but apparently in French, which I think is different words than Minnie had. I think her stuff all referred to Disneyland. I guess it's convenient. I don't know if they planned this back at the time, but I guess it's convenient that they picked rides that existed in both parks. For Minnie, she wasn't. I don't think she wasn't like part of a 65th or anything, was she? But no, she was the year before that. And no, it is the exact same words as. So I did comment that I felt they were being a little creatively bankrupt here, but I wasn't wrong, because they used the exact same description. So I guess you can go back to the video. No, I didn't do a video on Minnie Mouse, did I? I didn't start on her, I think, until like Tea Party, because then I was doing the quarantine videos. I didn't do a video, I think, for the first month. But yeah, they've just literally taken the exact same text. So, but again, I guess maybe these were all meant to be for Disney World as well. I just never thought about it. But again, it's still, they are all rides that exist in both parks, so that's good enough. So now we can get that box out of the way, because we have one more item in the collection that we purchased. Like I said, I didn't buy the backpack, but I did buy the plush. That's why I got Minnie down, so we could compare them side by side. Sadly, I don't have a doll stand for him, which was poor planning on my part. But then again, I mean, when do I ever plan things out well? Oh, he's got paper wrapped around him too. I guess to keep his it is that kind of fabric that can stick to things if you let them have contact. So I may wrap him back up until we decide what we're going to do with him. But here he is, Mickey Mouse, the main attraction. Can we do something about that shirt? That's not a super, it doesn't really sit properly, does it? But let's see, comparing them to each other. Well, let's look at him by himself first. So he's got little star ears, he's got the visor, he's got the Pac-Man eyes going on. He's all this kind of a like PVC cloth kind of feel to him, except for the hands. They're more of like a satiny feel. He does have the Mickey Mouse Main Attraction logo on his foot. I was kind of surprised they didn't use the 50th anniversary logo there instead. It almost comes kind of like a iridescent. I think it's just the fabric, though. It's not like anything special. Look, his mouth. It's full of stars. So is his eyes. But he scales exactly the same size as Minnie, it looks like. His stars on his ears and stuff, I think, are maybe a little brighter than the fabric she's made out of. You know, got more of this like light purple stuff than she has on her. Here's the 50th. It's on the ears. I knew it'd be there somewhere. But his clothes are also designed to look like the ride building. I feel like maybe not as well as her dress does. And I feel like maybe not as well as the pin makes it look. But still very nicely done. And yeah, these were like just marvelously easy to get. He went on back order, I think, within a few minutes. I'm guessing whatever supply chain issues caused them to not release this until April have not been resolved. But I'm interested to see how they do the release of the rest of the series. Are they going to try to catch up and do multiple releases a month? Or are we just going to have this continue on into like next March before we get to part 12 of this collection, at which point they've already started the next collection? Who knows? Maybe they won't do a collection next year, because it seems like every other year's collection kind of sucks. And then they go back and do a Mickey or a Minnie, and those are good. And then they do something that's not Mickey or Minnie, and those just kind of sit there for a long time. But it's quite nice. I think they look good together. I feel like the white on her is a little brighter, like on the face, than on his. But I think they'll look good up on a shelf together if that's where the way they end up. I mean, we only have so much shelf space. Some things do end up in storage, like about half the Minnie Mouses. I think next month, if I do a side-by-side again, if I'm able to get the plush again next month, I will have to go and get her out of a bin. She's stored for Pirates, I think. I don't think we have her out. But yeah, these are all, frankly, much nicer than I thought they were going to be. That's it. I still would have been nice to have like a Space Mountain pin, not just Mickey, but at least it's a big pin. It's a good-sized pin, and the key I'm genuinely impressed with. That is huge. It's a lot bigger. I thought we were going to get something more along the scale of the normal store opening key style keys, the Key to Imagination keys. I thought it would look basically like, you know, the same way all the Disney keys kind of look the same. I figured it would look a lot like the Disney Princess Metal key that came out, but it doesn't. It is very much a different thing. And yeah, the other 11 are like this. Those are quite nice collectibles. I am legitimately impressed, Disney. This is a good set. But that's what there is to look at this week. I haven't seen a release date for the second series yet. I don't know if there's going to be, like, if they're going to like offset it to catch up, or if it'll just be, we'll get February towards the end of May. But if it's as easy to get to them as it was this time, then I have no problem with that. I'm not going to say a pleasure. It's never a pleasure to throw $130 at Disney. But it was not stressful. It was painless. It was exactly what it should have been 2 years ago. So that may be damning a faint praise. I don't know, maybe underhanded complimenting, but I genuinely, thumbs up Shop Disney for this release. And that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you found it at all interesting or entertaining. If you did, go ahead, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll thank you for watching and see you in the next video.